Good morning to each and everyone. So we are the first reporter, the group 1, and today we are going to discuss about ICT policies and issues in teaching and learning. So I'm pretty sure that every one of you know what is the meaning of the acronym of ICT, which is Information and Communication and Technology. But why do we need policies in a certain case? For example, we have language policies, we have school policies, and why do we need to have ICT policies? In your own thoughts. Yes, RJ, since you are raising your hands.
It's important to have policies in every perspective because we know that these policies contains rules, and rules contains the knowledge that how we use them and how we cultivate them.
Yes, that's right. Because policies, it serves as our rule book, which is it guides and how things should need to be done. So next, the objectives of our lesson are: first is to discuss some ICT policies and explain their implication in teaching and learning. Second is to explain some issues that relate to ICT policies. And third, identify safety concerns on the internet, including digital safety risks. Next. Globalization is reality. Yes, it is indeed reality. We're gonna change the fact that globalization happens, not only happens in the Philippines, but happens globally. Means over the whole world experiences. And in this globalization, technologies plays a crucial role into the lives of everyone. Right? But how about those who are marginalized and powerless? We do not have the capability to afford what we have today. The DICT, or the Department of Information or of Communication and Technology, said that the future has arrived. Now we have to ensure that we have place in it. We cannot change the fact that technology is the center of our life today, including before we sleep. We wake up in the morning, technology or the ICT is still there. So it happens in our daily life. So the future has arrived. Now we have to ensure that we are facing it. For example, we are here. We are here, and in God's grace, we are going to teach someday. If you would imagine, how can you teach your students if you won't adapt the new technology? How can your students learn from you? So we need to ensure that we have place in it. Next. Lesson 1, policies and issues on internet and implication on teaching and learning. So we are a learner, and God's grace, sooner we will going to teach also to our students. And how can we teach it? We need to adapt the new technologies, which is we have today. Technologies are invented technology invented not because to harm you. It is invented to help you, by the way. But it is the user responsibility to use that technologies in a proper way. New technology have become central to the lives of every individual on this planet. Whether you are talking on the phone, sending an electronic bill, going to the bank, using the library, watching news on television, going to the doctor, catching a flight, or seeing a movie, you are using ICT. Almost everything that we do in the modern world is influenced by the technologies. I want you to imagine when we are ordering in a restaurant. Because the traditional form of getting your order, they will going to give you a checklist, then you will going to pay. But now they will going to give you an iPad or a tablet, then you will going to scroll what recipe or what kind of dish you want. Right? So the technology technologies is really there. Whether where you will go in today's generation, technology is really there. Next. Definition of ICT policies. The Oxford English Dictionary has defined policy as a course of action adopted and pursued by a government, party, ruler, statesman. It is any course of action adopted as expedient or advantageous. Its operational definition of policy is a plan of action to guide decision and to achieve outcomes. Yes, it is indeed right that when we say ICT policies, it is a guide for decision and to achieve outcomes. What are the things we need to be done for us to have this ICT usage responsibly and safely? Thus, ICT policies are needed to put roadmap of course of actions to pursue and adopted by various governments, organizations, and it is involving ICT. This includes principles and guidelines and the use of ICT, which covers three main areas, which is telecommunications, broadcasting, and internet. So the new ICT, more recent technological innovation, increase the reach and speed of communication, which can be grouped into three categories. First is the IT, or the information technology. So when we say IT, it includes the use of computers. Common sense, we cannot manipulate such as certain things without this equipment, without this technology. So we need to have the computer, which is the hardware. Hardware is any tangible things on the computer, right? Keyboard, any more. Mouse, like this, hardware. Then the second thing is we need to have the software. The software are the apps inside your computer. It can be the software that we are going to use. The third thing is the computer literacy. The first thing, we cannot manipulate certain things without this computer. The third thing, we cannot manipulate without the knowledge, which is computer literacy. Second, telecommunication technologies include the telephones. Some of you had their telephones at home, right? Telephones or landlines. Yes. And the broadcasting of radio, television, often through satellites. Telephone system, radio, and film broadcasting are needed in this category. So ICT is not only plays a role into computer. It also can be telecommunication technologies like TV or radio or any other types. The third thing is networking technologies. The best known of networking technology is internet, but has extended to mobile phone technology. So when we say networking technologies, these are the apps that you are using nowadays. The messenger, other device, the VoIP or the voice over internet protocol you are using to connect, whether you are far from each other, but you can still connect to one another. So that is networking technologies. Next.
So, good morning everyone. I am Kalisa Tipulan, as you know. So, I will be the one who discuss about the DICT roadmap. So, DICT stands for Department of Information and Communication Technology. So, can you please read, Analea, about the definition of DICT from the first paragraph to the second paragraph? Louder, please.
In our country, the Department of Information and Communication Technology, or DICT, has formulated a roadmap to guide all agencies in the acquisition, regulation, and enhancement of ICT. Each project has corresponding policy, statement, and guidelines. The ICT for Education, or ICT 4E, is a program under the ICT that supports all the efforts of the education sector and incorporating the use of ICT as well as determining and gaining access to the infrastructure, hardware, software, or communication facilities which are necessary to use and deploy learning technologies at all levels of the education.
So very good. So the DICT is a roadmap to guide all agencies in the utilization, regulation, and enhance the ICT. So in each project has its own corresponding policy that and guidelines. So the ICT for education is under which are necessary to deploy the technologies at all levels of education, like the hardware, software, telecommunications, facilities, and others. So, among the policy recommended programs that have application to education, teaching, learning are number 1, ICT in Education Master Plan for all levels, including a national roadmap for community development in ICT in education. A national framework plan for ICTs in basic education was developed. So this ICT is a part of our education from all levels, from elementary to tertiary, because technology is very important when it comes to very important using this to facilitate our learning. Okay, that's how. There's like soon. Okay, so may mga master plan siya at all levels. Okay, the second is content and application development through the open content in education. Okay? So this content and application is about how you is about the content, about the full mastery of the technology, and deploy your skills in education. So the OCEI is about the materials that can develop into interactive multimedia. So it's, for example, it's from the IS that we are using from the past. Now we are using PPP or projector. So the third is the Padlet. Padlet is a walled garden that hosts educational learning and teaching materials and application for use by Philippine students, their parents, and teachers. So this Padlet is they are the one who introduce about the educational learning and teaching materials for the students to use it, and also the parents and the teachers. So, Joyce Kalayan, can you please read the number 4?
Rapid Mobility E-Learning Content called Eskwela for Autistic OSY, providing them with IT enhanced internet education.
Okay, very good. So the ICT is they introduce their topic or the skills for the school youth, out of school youth or the students, for them to use this or to and find a work. So some vocational process. Okay, number 5. Okay, Mahilong Aisel, can you please read the number 5 and explain what is the meaning of it? Or yes, what did you understand?
Quality program for tertiary education. Partnership with state universities and colleges SSCS to improve the quality of IT education and the use of IT education in the country, particularly outside of the Philippines. So, from what I understand, it's like guidance or partnerships.
So yes, okay. So the ICT is the quality program is they are introducing it to the tertiary education, which are the colleges. We are the tertiary education. Okay. So the ICT is they are partnerships with the state university colleges or to introduce this ICT to able to use it and apply or deploy their learning in some particular country or in outer Manila. So the number 6, can you please read right hand and explain what if you understand about
Digital Media Arts program which will digitally just to the government open source. So this is a program that this is a program for the government to use like parang gawin siyang open source.
Thank you, that's all. For number 7, dumagsa din siya. Please read the number, the number 7 and explain what the number 7
ICT skills can be applied to those and operations to identify strategic and policy and program implementation progress. ICT skills demand supply time. So in the ICT skills strategy plan, it involves planning how to use the ICT in your operation.
Okay, thank you. And that's all for the next quarter. May all with Sarah or Manila. So, good morning everyone. So, I'm talking about the issues on ICT and internet policy and research. So, global issues. Access and civil liberties are two sets of issues in ICT policy, which are crucial to modern society. The other concern is civil liberties, which refer to human rights and freedoms. So, good morning everyone. So now I'm explaining to you some issues on ICT and internet policies and regulation. So first is the global issues. Access and civil liberties are two sets of issues in ICT policy, which are crucial to modern society. The other concern is civil liberties, which refer to human rights and freedom. This include freedom of expression, the right to privacy, and the right to communicate, and intellectual property rights. Access to the use of internet and ICT. Access means the possibility for everyone to use the internet and other media. In richer countries, basic access to internet is almost available, especially in South Korea. So, to open the faster broadband connections. There are still countries where access to internet is still a challenge, which is, the one example is here in the Philippines. So, infringement to civil liberties or human rights. What are the specific issues on internet policies that have relationship to civil liberties or human rights? Let's study the examples that follow. So we all know that civil liberties is have the freedom or right to express one's opinion. So how can it affect, for example, posting on social media? So as we go on, we will understand about it. Okay, how can it affect the relationship of ICT to your freedom or civil liberties? Next. Issue number 1, freedom of expression and source of censorship. Under international human rights conventions, all people are guaranteed the rights for free expression. However, with the shift from communicating through letter, newspaper, and public meetings to electronic communication and online networking, a need to look into how this new means modifies the understanding of freedom of expression and censorship. So, we all know that there is a fast shift between sending letters to emails. Diba? It is more rapid. So, this freedom of expression and censorship, it talks about how this thing shift and the right of using this new technology from this generation to express one's opinion with the use of emails, sending emails to your colleagues. So, yes, issue number 2 is privacy and security. Privacy policies are an issue. Most commercial sites have a privacy policy. When someone uses a site and click agree, Women, it is as if you have turned over private information to any authority that may access it. So, for example, as the cookie side, which is you are asked if you will agree, you will agree that the cookie may access your information, sort of like that. If you click the button agree, so you agree with the policies and
Yes.
yes, with the policies and yes, informations that they can gain from you. That's how I know it. So the next issue is surveillance and data retention. So this is Alessandra, can you please read the issue number 3?
Issue number 3, surveillance and data retention. The use of electronic communications has enhanced the development of indirect surveillance. It's the direct surveillance. There is no direct contact between the agent and the subject of surveillance, but evidence of activities can be traced. The new and powerful form of indirect surveillance is data surveillance. Data surveillance is the use of personal information to monitor a person's activities, while data retention is the use of illegal
So it means that you can only see the activities or the sources that you can trace the activities that were going on, but the main source of it or the creator of it is hard to trace, you know. So this activity is, for example, in Messenger or in stories, diba? If you are not friends with someone, you can see who can view your stories, right? If you it is belong to the others, which is anonymous. Yes, anonymous. So we will go to the issue number 4. The e-pollutants from this means yan na lang. Simple na lang. It's the issue.
Amount of image is generated by ICT. This particular terminal equipment used for computing PC, laptops, broadcasting, television, and radio site. Thank you. Telephone, fixed and mobile phones, and peripherals, fax machine, printer, and scanners.
So this e-waste is a kind of email or unnecessary mail, which is
So, issue number 4 pertains the e-pollutants from e-waste. So, the e-waste, which would be considered, have you remember during those times where scientists are being helped by the government because they were saying about the issues concerning global warming. So they're asking our help to delete the necessary emails. Like for instance, if we grab these emails in our e-bags, then it should be cleared or deleted because it contributes to the pollution in the society, in the world as well. So now, from that specific point, we can say that that is a pollutant, which is also a waste. So we must, once again, it is a reminder to delete your emails, which are already seen or you've read.
So, do you have any question about different issues? So, is it clear? Yes.
Oh, it's not amen.
So, good morning everyone. I will be talking about the implications to teaching and learning. So, can someone read? I will read first. How do the policy guidelines, projects, and issues relate to the teaching and learning there are great implications of this lesson to have the teachers of who are teaching and learners are learning. A few of these are as follows. We can read number 1. Yes, Robert.
Number 1, guide the teachers on what they should teach that relate to ICT. How teaching, since ICT development comes so rapid and constant, teachers might be overwhelmed by its rapid speed. Temperance in its use is a culture that should be looked at.
What have you understand?
So, based on my understanding on the given next, that since ICT is very relevant and it is the evolution of this technology is rapid or speedy. So the teacher must have the knowledge to know to manipulate that technology and to adapt and para to adapt our teaching.
So yes, so this explains that the teacher should always be updated about how to use technology. Kasi how can the students, like we are the 4th generation, right? We're in the 21st century. How can the teachers, how can the students relate what teachers, on how the teachers teach the students if she or the teacher is not using the you do not know. Like, for instance, us, can we relate to them if they are like using the technology on their way of teaching? What if they still use the traditional teaching, which is they write on the papers and items, like that? It's so boring, right? So that's the point. The second one, who can read for the second one? Yes, Maynard, thank you so much for raising your hand.
Technology should never replace any human teacher. The tools are support instructional materials for the teachers which are available to use. The teacher should learn how to appropriately use them. The human touch of the teacher is still a vital component in education. Teachers should always be reminded that there are always limitations in the use of the different gadgets and tools.
What do you understand?
Based on my understanding, we as a human being, we need to know the limitations of using the different gadgets and tools, especially nowadays. There's many spreading fake news or spreading kind of, and also
Yes, thank you so much. So this explains how if we are going to relate to the teachers on their teaching, because some of the we all know, like we know naman that other teachers are kind of relying now to the gadgets or to the AIs. They somehow some of the teachers make tests like using the AI, hindi lang natin alam. So that is the point here. Teachers should always be reminded that there are always limitations on using the different gadgets and tools. And guys, what do you think a teacher can provide that AI cannot? Yes, exactly. So number 3, thank you, Sir Ivan, for raising your hand.
There are rules and regulations that govern the use of technology. Teachers should be observed to protect individual privacy. As teachers, we must be aware that the use of technology may jeopardize their privacy and security.
So what do you understand, sir?
So, based on, in my own perspective, we as teacher educators, we must know the limitations of using technology, especially when it comes to the privacy.
Yeah, it's very understandable, right? Yes. So for this part, as a teacher, we should always
So, the number three tells us that there are rules and regulations that govern technology. This all look in our phones, and every application there is, after we install it in our application app stores, we can always see that there are agreements, or like I say, the rules and regulations that are presented first before proceeding to actually using the software, right? So now what is important? That is to observe the protection in individual privacy. That is if you want them, which is the application or the software, to get into your privacy or your to get track of whatever you do in that certain application. So that is a very important tool, also for teachers as well, because everyone is a user. Teachers, students, everyone is a user of technology. So this is very important.
yes, to be specific, it requires careful attention to privacy and safety. Okay, number 4, all the issues and any more shall be part of the teaching talent as term will be encouraged to base technology in teaching. So, ICT should be woven into curriculum to enhance learning outcomes, or like to be specific, so we can all be digital literate. That's all.
So, okay, once again, good morning everyone. I am Shin Jasper Selva, and I am tasked to discuss with you about the safety issues and the use of ICT, including e-safety. So, can anyone read the first? Paragraph? Or the paragraph? Yes? Tarazona, please.
Using technology is not verifying songs, but how its will be vulnerable to risk. When properly used, it will expose danger to the user in school and at home.
Okay, that's enough. Thank you very much. So let us take this one at a time, okay? Using technology is not a risk by itself, but how it is used will be vulnerable to risk. What you understand about that is, Salaksa, the first sentence, using technology is not a risk by itself, but how it is used will be vulnerable to risk.
So using technology, of course, is not a risk if we use it in a proper way. So some vulnerable to risk, we use this
We should always know that it is technology is not a risk for our sake, because it is introduced to us to make our lives better, to make it easier. Every day we want to search for something, we can have our answers in just one click. But then again, let us all know that it is crucial that we should not be abusive of these things. Because let's just say, for example, you're a programmer. Of course, you are having this advantage of knowing these things, how to manipulate this and that. So you can actually just search or like take the privacy of, or like browse the privacy of your classmates if you want to, or others, right? But then again, that is an abusive way, which we do not tolerate or recommend. Next slide, please. So, okay, summaries in the use of ICT and e-networking. Technology is a phenomenon that seems to be uncontrollable. Correct or not?
Correct.
How about this part here? Correct or not?
Yes.
Yes, what do you think, sir?
Because technology, with the use of technology, we can do many things. So it doesn't matter if it is bad or it is good. So we cannot control ourselves to do bad things, and we cannot control ourselves to do good things also. But for that, no, ICT is uncontrollable.
Thank you so much. Let's just get the idea of the ICT, the use of technology is uncontrollable, but not doing the bad things, alright? So we do not tolerate or recommend doing those things. So now, it is a phenomenon. So phenomenon, these are happenings in the society. which is very natural, it's happening, so it's fact. Now, seems to be uncontrollable because since it is introduced to us, it has become a mode of instruction in the Philippines or in the whole world, so it has become uncontrollable. Correct, ma'am, Michelle? Very good. Despite these so many big benefits for teaching and learning, there are also negative effects on influence of the learners, such as, can anyone give an example? Despite the so many benefits for teaching and learning, there are also negative effects or influence on the learners. What do you think are those? Yes, Mr. Roger? If you want to answer this, raise your hand.
I think one of the negative effects is the student depend on the technology.
They are being more reliant and to the point that we become lazy. Even just for a simple question that can be answered directly, we rely on social media, we rely on internet, we just browse it and we do not more acknowledge our own capacity of thinking. Are we clear? So, yes. Hence, as future teachers, you have to be aware of how to safeguard learners in the school communities where they spend most of their waking hours and also in their homes or facilities that provide opportunities to use digital technologies like internet cafes. So I think in this area, we do not really need this one, but it is crucial, okay? Since we are deprived of, how do you say, sufficient data in this campus. So let's proceed. There are so many risks that we have to be aware of in this use of digital technologies. This may include the following. Anyone? Yes, ma'am, Melina, please read the first. Exposure to appropriate content. Yes.
Exposure to inappropriate content, including online pornography and extremism, or exposure to violence associated with racist language.
Alright, very good. Thank you so much. Now, does anyone know what is an N-word is?
Yes.
Yes, N-word is being utilized by those white people to those black people, which are called the N-word. So that comes in the racist or extremism. Now, pornography on the other hand is very rampant. Be it underage, legal age, adults, or let's just say old adults. Because you know why? Basically saying it is being used for some reason. There are also benefits of doing watching porn. Let's say, for example, if you have a partner who is not knowledgeable of doing such thing, but you agreed on, on exploring your capabilities to reach explicit towards each other. So that is a good example for which you can utilize. But then again, these abusers are always around the corner. So, alright. N-word is very bad since it's, yes, that will be your assignment to know it. Use the technology to search in this, okay? But do not use it here. Second, lifestyle websites like self-harm and suicide sites and hate sites. Now, can anyone give me an example for sites that are, these things are very, let's say, trend or are just being normalized? Twitter, TikTok, yes, correct, yes.
One of the examples of fake sites is the WhatsApp. It's trending last month.
Yes.
Is trying to build herself and
What application is that? Where did you watch it? Where did you get the link? Alright, so these are the sites that you should not be exposed to, because basically saying it has something to do with the psychological effects, which means to say if you get to watch these things, you tend to be empathized in a way that you want to be in their position. So meaning to say, It's like, oh, I feel the same way too, so I should do these things. I should also harm myself, which is not very good because self-harm is not good because everything that can lead to harm is not good. Okay? We got cyberbullying in all forms, receiving sexually explicit images or messages. Now, we want the experience here to have what do you call that? Inappropriate, how do you say like, agreement, like, what do you call that? Like, would you like to send me, yeah, cyberbullying is very rampant as well. Actually, there are a lot of, okay, please listen. Who wants to share with the cyberbullying? Anyone? See, this is the problem of the 21st century. When they are asked or acknowledged, stand up and speak, they are not talking. And again, when the teacher is speaking in front, they are not listening. It seems like our brains is reversed. Alright, so cyberbullying is very rampant because for some reason there are so many dominant, how to say, like cultures. Even in here it doesn't blogger, right? We can actually hear like, oh, bajaw, sama, panginimos, and stuff like that. That is a form of bullying. Though it is happening in the real world, not in cyberbullying, but you can actually like hear these things, right? So we are having some technical issues. So let's just wait for a moment. Ikat mo daw kayo. Ang ikat ba? Okay na, okay na. So now let's proceed to the number 4, which is, yes, Miss Faith, please read the number 4. So I think that is very understandable. Okay, let's proceed to health and well-being. Amount of time spent online, internet gaming, and many more. Now we're playing Mobile Legends here. Yes, I myself is a user of that application, so more or less we spend 2 to 3 hours in just, playing Mobile Legends, which is not recommended because it leads to health issues. Prolonged exposure to online technology, particularly at an early age. So let's proceed. Attention. Alright. Are we clear with this one? Everyone please look at the PPT. Are we clear? Yes. Let's proceed. Okay, minor issues of ICT in school. Some minor issues, including the family. Okay, copyright information into assignment and failing to acknowledge the source or cluttering and copyright. So can anyone define what is plagiarism? Plagiarism. Yes. Please listen. Quiet. That is very correct. But then again, even though it is cited, it is still a false plagiarism. Okay? So, do you know that plagiarism is not considered as a crime or under the Philippine law, according to Chico, but it is punishable under the Cybercrime Prevention Act if it equates to copyright infringement. Copyright infringement under Section 217 of Republic Act number 8293 for the Intellectual Property Code can be punishable by 1 to 3 years imprisonment and fine ranging from 50,000 to 150,000 for the first offense. Yes, there are actually three offenses, or three offenses, yes, three offenses. For the second offense, we have 150 to 500,000 pesos of fine for bail, okay? For the third offense, you can actually just give 500,000 or half a million and 1,500,000 as your fine. When it falls under the copyright infringement. So better not, better just use the ChatGPT or the CC than rather copying others. Yes, copying others work without citation. So, e-safety helps safeguard children and young people. This is a very important note. E-safety is for your own sake, for the individual's sake, or help in terms of technology. So let me just noteworthy thing. That is for everyone. It is the right of every user to have a safety. Okay? So next, let us proceed to the network management, which will be discussed by
So let's proceed to network management. So the first is safety the use of network is So meaning it involves a security measures which is firewalls, content filtering, and strong authentication. Who have an idea about firewalls? Anyone? Firewalls.
It's a safety, like, is para ma-avoid yung mga viruses.
Yes. To avoid issues and information. Next is make sure that no one should log on as another user. So this is it is important to emphasize because every user account is unique and confidential. So if you open the account of other, you will violate the security and privacy. Next is require all users always log off when they are finished working. So it is important after working, you need to log off to prevent the unauthorized access. Next is maintain equipment to ensure health and safety. So it is important to maintain the equipment to prevent accident or injuries. You need to ensure that all equipment is properly functioned to prevent accident. Next is, can you please read 1.4? So it is important because it helps students to enhance their learning experience. It enables students to learn with their own pace, and it enables students to access materials everywhere and every time. Are you okay? Can you please read 5?
Set up a clear disaster recovery system in place for critical data that includes secure remote map of critical data.
So it is important to have backup if there is something happen unexpectedly. So you need to ensure
For instance, if you have an important document, so you have to make a copy of that.
and you need to ensure that it is secure, that it is secure, and you need to secure that it is. You need to make sure that it's secure. Okay. Next is RJ. Can you please read 1.6? And explain.
Security wireless network operates standard suitable for educational use. Secure wireless network operates standard suitable for educational use. So when we say wireless networks, it is the use of the internet that is suitable or useful in our educational learning. For example, the search engine. It is very useful in our education because in one search, we could generate new information, new ideas that we could get in the internet.
Next is, Marjorie, can you please do 1.7?
Install all computers with traditional and
So, dito is to prevent accident injuries pa rin. Next is ito, can you please 1.8 and explain?
Ano?
1.8.
Give you the school at 67 learning with regard to health and safety and security.
Explain.
If you guys, in a school, utilize the system regarding to health and safety. By doing study about the ICT system regarding in our school, it can also help our health and safety and also security.
So it is important to review the ICT system to protect the students kasi meron kasi you will monitor the ICT kasi meron ng mga malicious information or something na hindi alam ng user. Next is password policy. Next page, 2.1. 2.1.
Only authorized users will have individual passwords. Users are not permitted to disclose their passwords unless they have permission from the owner or from the person. The equipment that keep the personal information shall be locked when unattended to prevent unauthorized access. So in my own idea, in this statement, it actually says that every person should have their own personal password. You know, so as you know, having your own personal password is like you're also having your own security for you to prevent for them to have some access. Because in our own, like for example, in our Facebook account, they actually have their own passwords for them to prevent knowing such information that is really crucial and the what we call this very sensitive for you.
You don't need to disclose the password unless you got the permission from the owner or management. The next is personal mobile phones and mobile devices. What you have to please explain?
personal mobile phones and mobile devices. So all phones shall be kept away from box away. Personal mobile phones and mobile devices.
It is important because if you want to use it, you can use it anytime. Next is 3.1. All mobile phones shall be kept away in a box, away from the children or learners, and access is only allowed at break time or at the end of the classes or when needed during the class period. So, yun na. That's not all. Next is taking picture only from parents or educators and not from any other family member or friends while the child attend class. Why do you think? taking pictures only from parents or caregiver and not from any other family members or friends who the child attends class. What do you think? Yes. 4.1 day.
Parents?
Taking picture only.
Oh, yes. Taking pictures on the statement from your family members only, not any other family members. Yes, this classroom, ano din, intended siya. You are not allowed to take pictures without any consent of your classmates, right? Classmates or friends. Okay?
Kasi hindi kasi natin alam na dinenter tayo sa any picture taken of children shall be on camera only for the purpose. Setting up educational technology room. School that can dedicate a room where the students can access technologies for learning should include the following basic safety rules. First is provide clean tables. So this table can be tilted and adjusted to the height of the user. Pwede mo i-adjust if di mo mabot ng something there. Next. Provide anti-glare screen filter. Then yung the visibility. Provide adjustable chairs. Provide food support para malis yung Make sure lighting is suitable. Make sure workstation are not cramped. Plan work at the computer so that there are frequent breaks. Next is more specifically safety rules that can reduce risk of accident in the working station should include. Those daily ones across or around the room which people can record para no disruption or something na very risky na yung ever na matapunan na water or spark. Electrical socket should not be overloaded. Overheating. Electrical equipment should be safe because of just 1 year. To prove that if saved by yung equipment, there should be adequate space around them for people to move para comfortable. Next is box and obstacles should be stored out of the para hindi maging crowded. Food and cake should be not placed near machines. Ito yung sinasabi ko is, if it will spill on the socket or something where na live wire, it will spark. Heating and ventilation should be suitable for the work environment. Fire extinguisher should be available if any something na mag-fire or sparks na ready to yung extinguisher. The last is furniture should be marked and clear from the temperature.
Nelson, gusto mag-record.
May clarification na kanya.
So, I want to clarify this global issues, no? So, we have ICT policies and civil liberties. So, these civil liberties or the freedom will contradict the ICT policies because there are people who disobey policies. That is the explanation here. So, the first issue is freedom of expression and censorship because we have now the online non-working or online communication. This freedom of expression can be above the boundary or parang if we have the freedom of expression, we can say anything which is sometimes is unnecessary or
that a person communicating things in a sort of meeting. Yes. The next issue is privacy and security. If there is a pop-up, so the best example pala dito is the DSWD, what do you call that? Parang virus site, which is, it promotes, what do you call that? Different education, but it is a virus which it can be hacked. It can hack your account or get some information. The next issue is issue number 3.